Welcome, my dear students. During last classes, we have studied about friction, its causes, and different types of friction. Students, today we will study about sliding friction and rolling friction, as we have studied about static friction during last class in detail. We have studied that static friction acts when body is at rest or when contact surfaces are at rest with respect to each other. But when on applying force, if body starts sliding, or we can say if one surface starts sliding over the other surface, then the motion between these two surfaces, or the relative motion between these two surfaces, is opposed by the friction called sliding friction. As you can see on the screen, the force of friction acting between two surfaces in contact when one surface slides over the other surface is called sliding friction. When one surface slides over the other surfaces, then the force of friction acting is called sliding friction. Now students, you should know that sliding friction is smaller than the static friction. That is, sliding friction is smaller than the maximum value of static friction, which is also called limiting friction. The maximum value of static friction is also called limiting friction. So sliding friction is smaller than the static friction. This is because when an object has already started sliding, the irregularities on its surface do not get enough time to lock into irregularities on the other surface in contact. Here, in this point, students, you have to keep in mind that here static friction means the maximum value of static friction acting between two surfaces in contact. Students, we have studied that sliding friction is smaller than static friction. So we can say that it is easier to move a body which is already in motion than to move the object at rest or a body at rest. For example, when we try to move a heavy box, it needs a large force, but when it starts moving, it becomes easier to continue its motion. So students, we have understood that how, with the help of example, that static friction is more and sliding friction is slightly less than the maximum value of static friction. Let us make it this point clear with the help of an activity. As you can see, you have to take the arrangement of a wooden block with a hook attached to its one end or side. It is kept on a horizontal surface like table. A spring balance is attached to the hook of wooden block, and you have to pull the spring balance, that is, you have to exert force with the help of a spring balance to the right side, say suppose right side, with a small force, with a very small force, and with a little force, which is the force which is not sufficient to move the block, there will act static friction because the body will not move. So a static friction will act to resist the tendency of motion. But on increasing the force, if we increase slowly and slowly, if we increase the force, ultimately the body starts sliding. The wooden block starts sliding. And we will see that the force required to keep it moving or sliding will be the measurement of sliding friction. And this activity demonstrates how a moving surfaces, or how the two surfaces in contact which are in motion, which are in relative motion, is opposed by their motion. The relative motion is opposed by a friction called sliding friction. Students, if you do the activity, this activity, you will see that after the block started moving, the reading of the spring balance decreases a little. Means the maximum value of a static friction was slightly greater than the sliding friction, which is approximately constant. Sliding friction will remain considerably constant. Now students, see this graph. It will make your concept clear that how static friction, part of this graph shows a static friction, and how on increasing the applied force, a static friction increases up to a maximum limit, which is called limiting friction, and this limiting friction is different for different contact surfaces. This depends upon nature of the surfaces in contact, limiting friction. And after when body starts moving, which is called, it comes under static, it comes under kinetic or sliding friction. And in this case, that is in case of sliding friction, you can see the graph falls a little. The value of graph decreases, the value of friction decreases slightly, decreases a little. So students, this was all about static friction. Now we proceed the third type of friction, that is rolling friction. As you can see, rolling friction is the force of friction which acts between two surfaces in contact when one surface rolls over the other surface. One surface rolls over the other surface is called rolling friction. Means in this type of friction, one surface will roll over the other, then rolling friction will act. Rolling friction, students, is, as you can see, rolling friction is much less than sliding friction. So it is much easier to move an object on rollers or wheel than to slide it. Students, rolling friction is much less than other two types of friction we have studied, which was static friction and sliding friction. This is why heavy objects, heavy machines, can be easily moved over one place to another by placing round logs or cylindrical logs of woods or cylindrical iron rods under them, and pushing with a force easily. These heavy loads can be shifted from one place to another. The round logs, or you can say cylindrical logs of wood or iron, act as rollers in and make the heavy loads much easier to move from one place to another. So students, you can see the different examples here. You can see one, how a person easily can carry heavy load with the help of wheeled cart. So this was a student's explanation of sliding friction and rolling friction. In next part of this chapter, we will study about advantages and disadvantages of friction, along with how we can increase or decrease friction, and ultimately we will end with fluid friction. Till then, goodbye.